Alrighty, guys, we improved to 4-0 in our last 4 Major League Baseball tier package bets on my website. But before we get into some more of that, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the video here today for Friday, September 23rd, 2022. My name is Brock Page, and I've been doing sports picks for free right here on YouTube since 2016. I also sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/BrockPage. And one of the packages that I offer on that site is called the MLB tier membership. And once again, guys, I'm 4-0 my last 4 MLB tier package bets on that site. And just remember, guys, if you sign up for that package here today, you're going to get access to that membership every single day, all the way until October 1st. And as an added bonus here, guys, I'm going to throw in all my cheaper memberships on my website for you, absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase here today. Now, I currently have over 650 members who are signed up and active on that site right now. And the link for that MLB tier package bet is in the description section below. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. Happy Friday to you. The weekend's finally here. I like the Cubs here at the Pirates, 6:35 Eastern start time. Pittsburgh's minus 120, totals 8. Bryce Wilson for the Pirates, Javier Assad for Chicago. And out of just 23-plus innings this year, Javi's got himself an ERA in the 3s. Now, the Cubs are also on a 3-game winning streak, and they got the W in 7 out of their last 10. Nico Hoerner's the club leader in batting average. He's hitting nearly 300 at the plate. Meanwhile, Patrick Wisdom, he leads the team in home runs. Now, they're facing Bryce Wilson here on the mound today for Pittsburgh, and he's had a pretty rough year. Wilson's just 3-9 with an ERA in the 6s. Meanwhile, as a team, the ice-cold Pirates are on a 7-game skid, and they also have the lowest team batting average in the National League. Now, total-wise, the Pirates have gone 60% to the over in their divisional home games. Meanwhile, Chicago's averaged over 5 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Pittsburgh. I'm going to lean toward the Cubbies plus $1 over 8. Next game, little NL Central action. I'm talking about the Brewers at the Reds. That's going to be a 6:40 Eastern start time. Milwaukee's the $1.80 favorite. Totals 9 runs. Eric Lauer for Milwaukee. Mike Minor for Cincinnati. And as bad as Minor's been this year, the Reds have actually had some pretty good success at the plate at the Great American Ballpark. These guys are in the top 10 in home scoring. Kyle Farmer's the club leader in batting average, home runs, and RBI. He's facing Eric Lauer, who's walked over 50 batters this season for Milwaukee. Now, the lefty's also got an ERA close to 4. When it comes to this Milwaukee lineup of hitters, these guys do strike out an awful lot at the plate. They're in the bottom 5 in strikeouts per 9. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, 6 out of Milwaukee's last 10 did get over the number. They're also 23-13 of the over against the NL Central on the road. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati on the other side, 4 out of their last 6 Mike Minor starts got over the line. I'm going to lean towards Cincinnati plus 1.5, over 9 runs. Next ball game, little NL East action. I'm talking about the Nats at the Fish, 6:40 p.m. East. Miami's minus $1.25, total 6.5. Braxton Garrett for the Marlins, Josiah Gray for Washington. And even though Gray's given up a whole bunch of runs, strikeouts are up for the righty this year. Gray's fanned nearly 150 batters this season in just 136-plus innings. Now, the Nats also got the W in 3 out of their last 6, with victories over the likes of Atlanta and this very Miami team. Now, the old man, Nelson Cruz, he's currently the club leader with 64 runs batted in. He's also facing Braxton Garrett on the bump here today, who has just 2 wins on the season, despite some solid outings. Now, as a team, the Marlins took the loss in 4 out of their last 5 Garrett starts. And in addition to all that, the Marlins' biggest issue this year has been their bats. These guys are currently in the bottom 3 in scoring. And they also have one of the lowest team batting averages in the National League. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, oddly enough, 6 out of Miami's last 10 ball games did get over the line. They're also 20-12 to the over against the NL East at Lone Depot Park. Meanwhile, the Nationals on the other side of things, they've actually gone 18-13 to the over in their divisional road games. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Washington plus 105 over 6.5. Next matchup I have for you, it is going to be the Astros at the Orioles, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Now, Houston's minus 145 in Baltimore, total 7.5. Jose Urquidy for Houston, Dean Kramer for Baltimore. And even though Kramer's having a solid year, the O's have had a tough time scoring against Houston in recent meetings. They're actually averaging less than 3.9 runs a game in their last 10 contests against the Astros. Now, their lack of hitting has also let them down this year as well. These guys are currently in the top 10 in team batting average. And they're scoring fewer runs a game than most clubs in the American League right now. Now, they also have to face Jose Urquidy on the bump here today for Houston. And he's been real good. He's really given these guys a chance to win. Should be a huge huge piece of this postseason run. But anyway, Urquidy's 13-7 with a 1.17 whip. Meanwhile, as a team, the Stros have won 8 out of their last 10. And they're led by Yordan Alvarez, who's hitting .300 at the plate. Now, Alvarez also ranks in the top 3 in the league in home runs and OPS. Meanwhile, teammate Kyle Tucker, he's 5th in the majors with 102 runs batted in. Now, total-wise, guys, oddly enough, 5 out of Houston's last 6 road games fell under the total. Meanwhile, Boston went 60% to the under in their last 10. I'm going to lean toward Houston minus 145, under 7.5 runs. Next ball game, little AL East action. I'm talking about the Red Sox at the Yankees, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Now, if you guys are looking to see if Aaron Judge hits his 61st home run, I believe this game is being offered on Apple TV. You're going to have a tough time finding the broadcast. But anyway, Red Sox, Yankees, 7:05 East. The Yankees are minus 220, total 7.5. Garrett Cole for New York, Rich Hill for Boston. Now, Hill's got an ERA of 4.70 along with a 1.34 whip. Meanwhile, as a team, the Bo Sox lost 5 out of their last 8. And they played some really bad baseball against divisional opponents. These guys have gotten the W in just 9 out of 33 divisional road games. And that's good for only 27% during that span. They're also facing Garrett Cole, who's got a dozen wins on the season and a staggering 236 strikeouts. Now, as a team, the Yankees got the W in 8 out of their last 10. And they certainly punched their ticket into the postseason here yesterday. Now, Aaron Judge is still obviously leading the league in homers with 60 of them. He's also the best in the bigs in RBI and OPS. When it comes to the total, New York saw their last 5 straight in Yankee Stadium get over the line. They're also 8-2 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, Boston went 70% to the over in their last 10 Rich Hill starts. I'm going to lean toward the Yankees minus 1.5, over 7.5. Next contest, little NL East action. I'm talking about the Braves at the Phillies, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Now, Philadelphia's minus 165, total 7. Aaron Nola on the bump for Philadelphia, Jake Odorizzi for Atlanta. When it comes to the total, Atlanta saw their last 4 on the road all stay under the total. They're also 9-1 to the under in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, Philadelphia's gone 60% to the under in their last 10 themselves. And when it comes to selecting a winner in this one, this game's being featured as my MLB tier package bet on my website here today. So if you want to see whether I'm making a play on the money line or run line in this one, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my MLB tier package bet on patreon.com/rockpage. And once again, guys, I'm 4-0, my last 4 bets in that package. And just another friendly reminder, if you sign up for that package here today, you're going to get access to that membership every single day, all the way until October 1st. And as an added bonus here, guys, you're also going to get access to all the cheaper memberships on my site, absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, I'm going to lean toward the under 7 runs in that game. Next matchup, little AL East action. I'm talking about the Blue Jays at the Rays, 7:10 p.m. East. Now, Tampa Bay's the $1.40 favorite at home, total 7 runs. Jeffrey Springs for the Rays, Mitch White for Toronto. And even though White just has absolutely stunk with Toronto, the Blue Jays as a team, they continue to pound the baseball as a lineup. These guys are leading the majors in team batting average, and they're led by Alejandro Kirk, who's hitting just about 300 at the dish. Meanwhile, Vlad Guerrero Jr., he has a team-best 30 home runs. Now they're facing a Tampa Bay team who lost 3 out of their last 4, and they were shut out twice during that stretch. When it comes to offensive woes, well, these guys are currently, the Rays are currently in the bottom 10 in team OPS. They're actually hitting fewer home runs a game than most clubs in the American League. Now, total-wise, 5 out of Tampa Bay's last 7 at the Trop stayed under the number. They're also 60% to the under this year in all of their divisional home games. I'm going to lean toward Toronto plus 1.5, under 7. Next game, Guardians at the Rangers, 8:05 Eastern first pitch. Texas is minus 120, total 7.5 runs. John Gray for Texas, Cody Morris for Cleveland. And even though Morris has just 15 2/3 innings pitched this year, he certainly made the most of them. He's got 15 strikeouts and a 2.30 ERA. The Guardians are also on a 4-game winning streak, and they got the W in 8 out of their last 10. And when it comes to offensive production, these Cleveland hitters have been the toughest lineup in the league in strikeouts. They're actually first in the majors right now in fewest strikeouts per 9 at the dish. Jose Ramirez, he's also third in the bigs right now in RBI with 117 of them. Now, these guys are facing a Texas club here today who's actually playing their worst baseball at Globe Life Field. Texas is currently 10 games below 500 in their home games. And in addition to that, they've struggled with strikeouts at the dish. These guys are actually in the bottom 10 in strikeouts per 9 at the plate. When it comes to the number, 4 out of Texas's last 5 home games did get over the line. They're also 60% to the over in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, the Guardians on the other side of things, they saw overs in 6 out of their last 10 themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Cleveland plus $1, over 7.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Mariners at the Royals, 8:10 p.m. East. Kansas City's the $1.30 favorite, total 7.5 runs. Looks like Brady Singer is going to be the pitcher here for Kansas City. Marco Gonzalez probable for Seattle on the other side. Now, Marco has lost 14 games this year and has an ERA in the 4s. Now, the Mariners have also dropped 5 out of their last 7. They still have to go to work without their best hitters. Eugenio Suarez is still on the IL. Julio Rodriguez, he is doubtful to play here today with that lower back tightness. Now, they're also facing a Royals team on the other side of things who's on a 3-game winning streak themselves. And they also got the W in their last 4 straight at Kauffman Stadium. Bobby Witt Jr., he's still the club leader in RBI at the plate. Meanwhile, pitching-wise, Brady Singer, he's having a solid year. He's 9-4 with an ERA in the low 3s. When it comes to the scoring, KC went 4-0 to the under in their last 4 games on their own field. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Mariners went 60% to the under in their last 10 at any location themselves. I'm going to lean toward KC, minus 130, under 7.5. Next game, NL West action, Padres at the Rockies. That'll be an 8:10 Eastern first pitch in Denver. San Diego's minus 155, totals 11. Sean Manaea for San Diego, Ryan Feltner for Colorado. Now, Felt's gone just 3-8 this year, has an ERA in the 6s. Now, this Rockies pitching staff is also allowing more runs a game at home than any other team in baseball. They're facing a San Diego squad who loves to hit the ball away from home. These guys are actually in the top 3 in the league in road scoring. And they're led by Manny Machado, who has a team-best 94 runs batted in. Now, in addition to that, Machado is also 6th in the bigs and OPS at the dish. When it comes to the total, 6 out of Sean Manaea's last 9 starts did get over the total. Now, these guys also averaged 5.5 runs a game in their last 10 contests against Colorado. I'm going to lean towards San Diego, minus 155, over 11. Next matchup, little AL Central action. I'm talking about the Tigers at the White Sox, 8:10 Eastern start time. Chicago's minus 180, total 7. Lucas Giolito for Chicago, Eduardo Rodriguez for Detroit. The Tigers actually have a winning record against the run line on the road this year. And for some reason, their pitchers always throw their best away from home as well. The Tigers are in the top 3 in the league in fewest road hits allowed. Now they're facing a Chicago team on the other side of things, more specifically a Chicago lineup who's been little threat to hit the long ball. These guys are actually in the bottom 10 in home runs per game. Now, the Sox are also 5 games below 500 at Guaranteed Rate Field this year. Now, when it comes to the number, 4 out of Chicago's last 5 Lucas Giolito starts fell under the total. They also went 7-3 to the under in their last 10 meetings with Detroit. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Meanwhile, the Tigers are 63% to the under in their divisional road games. I'm going to lean toward Detroit plus 1.5, under 7. Next ball game I have for you, it is going to be Angels at the Twins, 8:10 p.m. East. The Angels are minus 150, total 7. Shohei Ohtani for LA, Louis Varland for Minnesota. Despite their recent struggles, the Twins do still play their best baseball at Target Field. These guys are 43-32 straight up at home. When it comes to offensive production, they've had little problems getting on base in front of their home crowd. They're in the top 5 in home hits, and they're led by Luis Arias, who's hitting .313. Now they're facing an Angels club on the other side who lost 3 out of their last 4 themselves, and they have a tough time scoring on the road. These guys are in the bottom 3 in runs per contest away from home. When it comes to the total in this one, LA went 8-1 to the under in their last 9 Ohtani starts. Meanwhile, Minnesota's gone 80% to the under in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward Minnesota plus 1.5, under 7. Next ball game, it is going to be Giants at the Diamondbacks, 9:40 p.m. East. San Francisco's minus 170, totals 8 runs. Carlos Rodon for the Giants, Tommy Henry for Arizona. Now, Henry's just 3-4 in the year with a 5.50 ERA. The D-backs as a team, they've also dropped 6 out of their last 8, and they've had a tough time getting on base this year. Arizona's currently in the bottom 5 in team batting average. They're also facing Carlos Rodon on the other side of things, who's got 13 wins on the year and 220 strikeouts. And no real surprise here, guys. Rodon's got an ERA in the 2s and a stingy 1.04 whip. Now, when it comes to the total, San Francisco's 19-13 to the over in their divisional road games. I'm going to lean toward the Giants, minus 170, over 8. Next matchup I have for you, a little interleague contest here. I'm talking about the Mets at the Athletics, 9:40 p.m. East. New York's the $2.30 favorite on the road, total 7 runs. Chris Bassett for New York, Cole Irvin for Oakland. And as good as he's pitched, well, Irvin's got 11 losses on the year. This A's lineup also has the lowest team batting average in the majors. They're facing Chris Bassett here today, who has 14 wins and an ERA in the low 3s. Meanwhile, as a team, the Mets won 6 out of their last 7, and they averaged over 6 runs a game in those victories. Now, Pete Alonso leads the National League with 121 RBI. He's also tied for the National League lead in home runs. When it comes to the total, 4 out of New York's last 7 interleague road games did get over the number. Meanwhile, the A's saw 5 out of their last 7 interleague home games get over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the New York Mets, minus 1.5, and the over 7. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final free breakdown for the video here today. it is going to be Cardinals at the Dodgers. That'll be a 10:10 Eastern start time. The LA Dodgers are minus 160, totals 8. Andrew Heaney for Los Angeles, Jose Quintana for St. Louis. Now the Cards dropped 3 out of their last 4 ball games, and they were shut out in all 3 of those losses. They're also having a pretty tough time scoring runs against LA. These guys have averaged less than 3.1 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with the Dodgers. Now, more bad news. They're also going to have to face Andrew Heaney here today, who has an ERA of 2.66, and he's also averaging nearly 2 strikeouts an inning. And when it comes to hitting the baseball, nobody does it better than Los Angeles. These guys are first in the league in OPS and scoring. Now, Freddie Freeman, he's currently hitting a league-best 328. Meanwhile, Trey Turner, he's in the top 10 in both batting average and runs batted in. When it comes to the total in this one, 4 out of LA's last 5 outings at Dodger Stadium stayed under the number. They're also 8-2 to the under in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, St. Louis went 70% to the under in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Dodgers, minus 160, under 8. With that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap, powered to you by my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. I like the Cubs plus $1 over 8. Give me the Reds plus 1.5 over 9. Washington plus 105 over 6.5. Houston minus 145 under 7.5. Give me the Yankees minus 1.5 over 7.5 runs. I like the under 7 runs in the Braves-Phillies game. And if you want to see if I'm betting on the money line or run line in that one, that game is being featured as my MLB tier package bet on my website. I like Toronto plus 1.5 under 7. Cleveland plus $1 over 7.5. Kansas City minus 130 under 7.5. San Diego minus 155 over 11. Detroit plus 1.5 under 7. Minnesota plus 1.5 under 7 runs. San Francisco minus 170 over 8. New York Mets minus 1.5 over 7. And with my next and final free pick for the video, I'm going to lean toward the Dodgers minus 160 under 8. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.